I used to laugh at funny original top comments on YouTube videos, but then I took an arrow to the knee. What is up, guys? I'm not Magic here, and I'm sick of that joke. And I also have chapped lips, which makes this commentary extremely difficult to do, but because I love you guys so much, I'm going to do it anyways. So if that doesn't deserve a like, then I'm not sure what does. But anyways, I wanted to make this commentary about my first fight, which is a topic that a lot of people, and by a lot of people I literally mean like a shit ton of people, have been asking me to do. People have been asking me to do my first fight, my first time I got involved with drugs, which I don't know why, and then there was one other one that I forgot about. But my first fight I thought would actually be a pretty cool story, because I actually thought back to what my first fight actually was, and I remember the story perfectly, so I thought it'd be pretty funny. And without further ado, I'm going to jump into it. So before you guys get all excited about thinking that my first fight was like some huge brawl, like shirts tearing, fists bloody in the street kind of thing, knocking people out, no, not like that at all. If you're expecting something like that, then I don't know what to tell you. Sorry that I'm not a fucking MMA fighter that can just kick ass whenever he wants. But my first fight actually started off with me being in PE, I think. I'm not really sure where it was, but I remember being in school just talking to one of my friends, and another dude comes up. He's acting all tough and everything. He's one of our friends and everything, just not as close. And it got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm gonna fight you, let's do it Sunday. And I was totally joking around, and he like, honestly, like a little light bulb like lit up on the top of his head. He's like, oh, I have boxing gloves, let's do it. And I kind of like looked, I'm like, what, you want to actually do it? And so I went over to his house Sunday, and we kind of just messed around, punched each other with the boxing gloves and everything. And that's not that actual first fight. And it was just funny, we were laughing about it and everything. None of it was serious, but at the time it was just like, you want to fucking box? Like, it was unheard of. But then it actually started becoming really fun, and people were actually boxing, and it became like this kind of big thing. And at that point in my life, I was really heavily into skating. So, if you wanted to find me, go to the skate park, because that's where I was. And so anyways, it was an early day from school, and we're all skating over to the skate park. We get there, and my friend who has the boxing gloves pulls them out. He has 3 different pair, and he's all like, we're doing this, and he just got all the skaters. He's like, we're fighting, we're doing it right now. And everyone's just kind of like jumping in, they're down and everything. And I was kind of staying back, because to be honest, guys, I'm not really a person that gets into fights. Like, if you have a problem, then that's your problem. I don't really give a shit. That's just the way I work, and in the long run, it really works out better. Think of it this way: if you guys are in high school at all and you're getting into fights, you kind of, like, no joke, you kind of need to grow up, because in the real world, you can't do that. You can't just get into a fight when you don't like something. You have to, like, as lame as this may sound, you gotta talk it out, or even just ignore it, because fighting in the long, like, it's gonna get you in trouble. It's just not gonna work out. So, fight if you have to, but in my opinion, it's not worth it. But anyways, sorry for the little side note. I just felt like I needed to include that little moral in here. But so finally, they're telling me to fight this other dude who was a grade above me. And by me saying he's a grade above me, it's not saying that he accuses some huge football player, like 300-pound dude that's gonna kick my ass. He was about the same size as me. He probably weighed the same, but he just happened to be a grade above me, probably a year older. And we both put on boxing gloves, and I'm ready to do this. I'm getting like pumped up. I've never really gotten into a fight before. I didn't really know how to throw punches or anything. And we go at it a little bit, and then we kind of separate. And then all of a sudden, he starts getting like pissed off, and I couldn't really figure out why. And he starts actually throwing like hard punches, and I'm kind of dodging him, and I'm thinking, this dude's trying to fucking kill me right now, and I'm scared out of my mind, because when someone's going full swinging at you, it becomes a scary thing. So my natural instincts just kind of kicked in, and I just took one solid jab straight to his face, nailed him in the nose, and his eyes started tearing. He wasn't actually crying, but when you get hit in the nose, or usually anywhere in the face, your eyes kind of react to tearing kind of thing. But it really wasn't crying. I'll stick up for him on that. I nailed him, and we kind of separated for a sec, because he needed to catch a breather, and I was fine with it. And I'm like jumping, I'm like ready. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna do this, then I'm down. We're gonna actually fight. I'm ready. And just so you guys know, we weren't actually like best friends or anything. We knew each other existed, but we really weren't friends. Anyways, so we kept going at it. And one thing I noticed that he kept doing was every time he went for a body shot, he would kind of put his head down, and I could kind of read it a little bit. So he's starting to throw a little bit of punches, and I see him go for a body shot, and I come up with an uppercut and nail him in the jaw. I think I loosened one of his teeth, and he goes down. And it was fucking crazy. And at the point, I honestly thought I knocked him out and that I was gonna get into just a shitload of trouble. And I went for the punch, and I'm just like, oh shit, like as he's falling. And I just kind of like looked like, holy crap. And he stood down. He stayed down for a while, and I felt bad. And you know, I like shook his hand and everything afterwards, because I don't really care. Like, I don't want to make enemies. I want to make friends. You know, that's just the kind of person I am. And I honestly did feel bad for him, because he got fucking, I'm not even gonna say, he got owned pretty much. And then pretty much the fights kept going, and then my friend who actually has the boxing gloves finally went, and midway through his fight he was kicking ass. He was taking 2 people actually, and apparently the cops rolled up and we all scattered, but it was super sketchy because he left his boxing gloves and the bag in there. We all just threw the gloves down, we all hopped the fences and everything, we ran, and the cops were just interviewing some of the, not interviewing, they were talking to some of the, you know, like 9-10-year-old skaters that were there that didn't decide to run because they weren't actually doing anything, so they weren't gonna run. And we had to go get the boxing glove bag because he needed those gloves. They were expensive apparently. And so we actually snuck back into the skate park. This is a small skate park. I'm talking like no bigger than like maybe if you put like 4 school classrooms together, like average school classrooms, that's about how big it is, maybe smaller. And it's not like you can easily sneak into it. And the guard, like I almost said guards, that's how much fucking of the arrow in the knee joke is getting to me, but the cops were talking to all those littler kids, and we had to hop the gate back and sneak in and grab the gloves. And as we grabbed them, one of the cops saw us and he started chasing us back, and we had to re-hop over the gate. And it was kind of like an Indiana Jones move that I pulled, where, you know, Indiana Jones like slides under the falling wall or whatever and grabs his hat right as soon as it closes. I hopped over the gate, and one of the gloves fell, and I like hung from the gate and just picked it up right as soon as the cop like touched me. And it was just fucking crazy ass day. But anyways, that was my first fight. I hope you guys enjoyed. It kind of turned into a let's run from the cops kind of scenario, but not a lot of moments in my life were kind of like that. So anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Maybe leave me a comment of what your first fight was or what you thought of mine. And you know, I don't know, I love reading your comments. If you didn't hear already, I'm doing some giveaways on Twitter, so be sure to follow me there. And that's about it. So later, guys.